So we're here with some of the creative team behind the film Atropia. And maybe to get started, how did you find out about these sort of active role play government facilities? Like, it's not something I'd ever heard of before.
Well, I mean, growing up, we grew up in Southern California. And nobody really thinks about this, but if you drive an hour in any direction from LA, you'll hit a base. Like, it is one of the more militarized parts of the whole country. And you can drive past some of them. So growing up, we would see like little things pop up like on the freeway to like Pendleton, or where Alia lives out in the desert. There's a big one where the Marines train. And I guess, I had this kind of like funny bit part career as an actor. And I was trying to find other bit parts that I could play that were not acting focused. And so I thought I might try to get a job as an actor on the base and then film it, but they didn't want me to do that.
Was that a rigorous audition process?
Wait, no, did you get the job or they didn't want you to film it?
It wasn't about getting the job. I just had to get a sign off from the DOD to film something like that, which was very difficult. And then I just became totally obsessed with these role-playing facilities, and the rest is sort of history.
And how did you come to set this story there?
I realized that making the doc was becoming increasingly difficult, and I was sort of like making my way up the ranks of people. And they were, very generous about, you can come on the tour, but I kind of wanted to film something like more in depth. And then I thought like it's sort of a place that's ripe for satire, and I decided to make a screwball romantic comedy about the military-industrial complex. Which everybody wants, right? They don't know it yet. People have been screaming for it.
Well, Alia, Callum, how did the two of you, what did you make of this story when it came to you?
Well, to pull it back just a little, Hailey was directing a Mew Mew Lemon's Tale, and so we made a short film called Shakumaku. That's the same character in the same world, and we had such an amazing experience making it, and it's such a perfect story, and also just like a really rich character, like a desperate actress that I knew how to play very well. And so I just was in love with her, with Feiruz. And then, some time passed, and at a moment of kind of creative constipation, me and Hailey were like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We gotta make our own step. And we were like, Hailey has always wanted to make that a feature, and I think we kind of were like, this is the time. And Hailey, as quick and sharp as she is, was like, okay, I'll write something. And I was like, okay.
How quick was the turnaround from the short to...
Yeah, we talked about within the year we were in production of when she wrote the draft. So, it's obviously things changing on the character and the story and adding in this romantic element. It became Atropia and this whole other world, but that's what kind of drew me in. And when I worked with Hailey the first time, I was like, I'll do anything for you on camera. And, so... But we became such good friends. And
you want to have our girls sat with me?
I don't want to start like a clothing line or something. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got involved. And then I've known Cal for a decade now. We did the film Green Room together. And so when we were looking for our dice, our first choice was somebody like Cal. And I reached out to him, and he was, very down.
Because I saw the short, an incredible short film. I was looking for any reason to go and work with Alia again, and then I met Hailey, and it was just a very easy decision.
I know, Alia, going all the way back to when you were in Three Kings, your sort of heritage as an Iraqi American, I guess part of the reason I find your role in this project so fascinating is it's about this actress who's having to grapple with the moral implications of her work. Should I even be taking this role? And is that a question that you've had to ask yourself a lot in your own career?
I love that this commented on the irony and the strangeness of getting to play a part because of your ethnicity. And obviously in the time we live in, everybody, people used to say I was too ethnic all my life being a child actor, and I would get highlights to look more white. And then now everyone's like, you're ethnic, right? What are you, Arabic? We like this. And so then all of a sudden I was getting parts because of it, and it also felt false. And then this movie is the perfect marriage of commenting on it, and she's using it to get work, but feeling guilty because of what it actually means for her heritage and her family. And so the film just comments perfectly on kind of how I feel as an actor, and creatively the way that we try and make art and sometimes usurp heritage that way.
Callum, for you, your character is like sort of blissfully oblivious to a lot of like what his involvement in this larger story, like how much trouble he's creating for Alia's character. Like, what did you make of this guy?
It was fun to. I think actually he's more aware than he lets on, and enjoys the ride that he goes on. He meets Fairuz, and something is ignited inside of him. It's someone that is married with a kid who he doesn't see, and he likes to live this life on the run, essentially. And it was interesting diving into the complexities of that, and someone that needs to live off the adrenaline of being in a war zone.
And it's kind of about two people that can only really be together when they're in character.
Yeah, and in one moment in time. It wouldn't work outside of the base.
And then, Hailey, can you just talk about Luca Guadagnino's involvement in the project? Did it stem from your working on Challengers?
Yeah, I was working on Challengers with him, and I had a movie that I was trying to make another script that I wrote that was having some problems, and he was like, let's make another movie. And I was like, really? He was like, yes. And I was like, okay, are you serious? And he was like, yes, but send me a script in a month. And I was like, okay. And it was the most thrilling, exciting moment of my life. And it was also like a very romantic experience writing it, because I knew that he was going to be my first reader. And he's obviously an incredibly talented, generous person, but he's a producer. I've gotten to see him in a different life.